2004 is one of the biggest years in gaming, specifically for the MMORPG genre. It brought the MMORPG from being a big genre to the limelight. It made it the global dominating genre for almost a decade. In 2004, World of Warcraft launched. But on top of that, 3 big MMO genres launched their sequels in 2004 as well. In March 2004, you had RuneScape 2. On November 8th, just 2 weeks before World of Warcraft, EverQuest 2 launched, and in April, we had Lineage 2. Now, many people probably touched and dabbled in a lot of these MMOs, especially if you're an old-timer MMO player. But World of Warcraft's launch itself completely redefined the genre in a way that very few games have done in the modern day and age, if ever. Now, before World of Warcraft, MMOs were a big genre. EverQuest had just about 1 million subs. It was huge. People were talking about this new revolutionary genre, and people thought that was about the peak, right? Then World of Warcraft drops, and within 3 years, it had 7 million subs. 7 million subscribers. It was unheard of. By TBC's launch, it was beyond wild. It was a global phenomenon. It was an addiction. It was all over the news. Very few games by that point in time had become the global hit that World of Warcraft had become. Keep in mind that before WoW, the big games, the big genres were kind of like your Xbox and your PlayStation 1s. You had your Final Fantasies, which was well known at the time, maybe not globally though. And World of Warcraft came and took everything by storm and made the MMO genre the focal point of the gaming niche, like I said earlier, for almost a decade. So how did it do it? And the answer is really simple. It took a clunky, convoluted, and kind of a pain in the ass genre and gameplay systems and modernized it. If you look at classic WoW today, you probably think, wow, this is grindy and terrible and no quality of life features, this is ass. World of Warcraft was considered easy. It was considered noob friendly. It was considered accessible. The modern day gamer would have a heart attack playing OG EverQuest and all these other older games where you were punished severely for your death, for your loss, for your failures. World of Warcraft made it so you didn't lose XP, you didn't lose gear, you didn't lose shit. You just got corpse camped or like ganked or things like that. And that was it. Log off, move on, do something else, play on a PvE server. A lot of these really frustrating points of old MMO genres, WoW eliminated or minimized drastically. Something as simple as quests, like getting an exclamation mark on top of an NPC to tell you about quests. That was a novel new idea that made the genre interesting and accessible. Think about that. How many people play games nowadays where if you don't know where the NPC or the quest is, you don't even see it? People have this ADHD, brain-addled gaming system. Not that it's true for every genre and every player base, but you get what I'm saying. Which brings me to the current point. We need another 2004. We can't keep playing MMOs the way they are, because as World of Warcraft redefined the whole genre, as World of Warcraft redefined what it meant to be an MMO, we need to keep in mind that the MMO genre is very slowly dying, it's very slowly declining. It's not a growing genre. And we need a 2004 moment to hit the MMO towers. In this context, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. They kinda need to be toppled so we get a new resurgence of MMOs in the same way that World of Warcraft toppled the previous towers. People want to play MMOs. This isn't some made up number. Look at New World. It had almost 1 million concurrent players, 913,000 to be precise. But it was an MMO that took the world by storm in the middle of COVID and everybody was playing. It was a global success and it died off just as fast as it blew up. Why? Because, well, it was an accessible game, it had nothing to really keep people playing. Imagine New World launched with all the features, all the things to make people want to keep playing, to have the PvP work, to have the siege system be fun, to have everything be a smooth, fun experience. It still probably would have died. But the point is, it shows the massive appetite for MMOs. The MMO player may be aging, they may be getting older, they may no longer be finding the old rigid grinds as fun, but people want MMOs. Just not in the current modern setting. Now, if we look at classic WoW, you can see how healthy that game is, right? Between Anniversary, Mr. Pandaria, all these other versions of World of Warcraft Classic that have a healthy, thriving player base. Look at Retail WoW, healthy and thriving. But look at Final Fantasy XIV. It's been on a serious decline lately, not because it's bad, but because as the MMO genre starts stagnating more and more, people are returning to nostalgia. Nostalgia bait, just how people are getting stuck in the past. I used to be better in the good old days, back when I had to walk uphill both ways, no shoes, through a storm, the desert, Mount Everest, and everything to get to school. Those days made me tough. You kids wouldn't understand. People miss those days because they miss how they felt back then. But if they could feel like that again today, if they could launch a game and feel amazed, shell-shocked, and just fully invested, people would still be playing MMOs. So let's paint a picture. The year is 2028. World of Warcraft 2.0, the new expansion that kind of resets and makes WoW more modern for the player base, drops right after the World Soul Saga. You have Guild Wars 3. You have Classic Plus. You have the Riot MMO. And then you have EverQuest 3. And Lord of the Rings Online, the new version from Amazon. You launch 6 major MMOs in 1 year, because they're realistically, all these companies are going to try to target each other because they all believe they're going to kill the other company. A lot of these companies kind of have like this big dick energy, I got the power, you don't kind of vibe. Realistically, one's going to kind of kill the others, but nonetheless, the point stands. Imagine all these games launch within the same time period and the whole world comes together to resurge that MMO experience, that MMO cultivation, like just people diving into a genre which has been considered a legacy dying genre for about a decade now. Since about 2014 to about 2016, MMOs have been on a slow decline, and then COVID happened, there was a big peak, and now it's been declining consistently again, even though those games are all doing just fine. But now the question here is, if all of these MMOs are effectively just WoW but slightly more modernized, slightly more features and all of these things, will they even stick? Will people even stick around to play them? A lot of people have been talking about horizontal versus vertical progression, the gear grind, having the feeling of FOMO and missing out, monetization, pay to win, free to play, subscription, my time and money, my energy, raid finder, looking for group, quality of life features, grittiness and grind. So many clashing, conflicting opinions here on what the modern player base wants, on what this current MMO landscape could look like. And I'm gonna be real, I think the next big MMO isn't gonna be any of those. I think the Riot MMO is gonna be rather huge, but unless the Riot MMO completely redefines what it means to be an MMO, I think it's gonna fall into the same trap that all these other companies have fallen into, where they keep having to reinvent their own MMO wheel every couple expansions to kind of keep their player base relevant or interested. Look at Guild Wars 2. After about almost a decade, they started to start doing seasonal expansions. Shorter, more condensed X packs, so you don't have to wait 3 years or 4 years for a full-blown expansion. You get a new one every 12 months, 10 months, 18 months, and you get to dive into an experience, a new expansion, some new content. Look at World of Warcraft. They went from 2 years, 2.5 year expansion cycles to 18 months. So if the Riot MMO does hypothetically come out, it might shift the genre, but only if Riot sticks to its core ideals of not making another WoW clone, of not making an MMO that's a traditional MMO but for a bigger audience. Keep in mind that the Riot MMO was almost finished, and then they restarted it because effectively based on everything we know, it was a World of Warcraft clone, done slightly better, more smooth, more fluid, more interesting, free to play with a big cosmetic store, no pay to win at all, just with a Riot or a Runeterra skin on it. And they cancelled it because they realized that wasn't going to be a rather big genre. They might have 10 million, maybe 15 million free-to-play players, but that's not really a huge amount considering League of Legends, which has 250 million unique monthly users. Look at Roblox, for example. You guys may not know this, but there is 111 million daily active users. 111 million. There's just about 9 billion people on this planet. We're getting there pretty soon. That was actually a lie. We're at 8.15 billion, but at the rate we're growing, we're probably going to hit 9 billion in about 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 at most. That's pretty close. Nonetheless, out of 8.14 billion people, 111 million people every single day play Roblox. That means when you go out on the street, 1 in 80 people are playing Roblox. 1 in 80. It's a ginormous game in a way that MMO players and other genres aren't understanding. The future of MMOs, I feel like, is in user-generated content. I've been parroting this for quite some time, but I think, in my opinion, that user-generated content, where you let the users create the experience, is the future of the MMORPG genre. But the other alternative is full VR MMOs, and I'm gonna be real, how close are we to Sword Art Online? I don't think we're close whatsoever. I don't think we're even remotely close. What did we have with technology nowadays? Sora making Jake Paul wear makeup. That's what technology has done in the modern day and age. Nonetheless, the point stands. The MMO genre can't have a 2004 moment unless we reinvent what it means to be an MMO, like World of Warcraft did back in 2004. It completely shifted the ideology of MMORPGs and made it an accessible genre in a way that felt rewarding for your time invested. Whereas the modern MMORPG is a FOMO-infested, cash shop-riddled shitfest. Let's be real here, right? Even if the game is good, even if the story is good, even if the characters are fun, even if the characters are hot, for some of you gooners out there, a lot of people are going to truly struggle to thrive and exist and enjoy the MMO genre when they can play League of Legends, Fortnite, Roblox, all these amazing single-player games like Hades 2, Silksong, Expedition 33, when there's so many AAA games of high quality caliber coming out that are going to be rather fun to play. For example, Cyberpunk 2, 2077 2, I guess. I'm not sure how they're going to really name that one. That's kind of a wonky title. Or Witcher 4, or Judas, all these other upcoming games. GTA 6 coming next year. You think anybody's going to be playing MMO when GTA 6 is out? But the point is, the MMO genre can be big again. If, and big if, somebody can redo 2004. And I kind of want you all to type in the comments down below, do you think that's even possible? Do you guys believe that a 2004 moment can happen again? Because I really hope it can. Don't get me wrong, I think the Classic Plus MMO that's upcoming sometime next year, 2027, is gonna be huge. 3-4 million players. I think the right MMO is gonna have 10-15 million players because it's free to play. I think Amazon's Lord of the Rings MMO is gonna be pretty big, break 1 million players on Steam. I think WoW 2.0 after The Last Titan is going to be rather big. Maybe they'll break 10 million subs again for the first time in a long time. But I don't think it's going to bring the MMORPG genre back to the forefront. I think all it's going to do is bring all the people and all the dads that quit back. But how long will those dads stick around to play? That's the big question we've got to be asking ourselves, because the genre is dying and there isn't any real stopping it when all these other genres keep stealing the youth away from the MMORPG genre. And it's hard to blame the kids for not wanting to play Classic WoW or Final Fantasy XIV or Ashes of Creation or Arcade 2 or any of these other upcoming MMOs or current MMOs when they look at the state of the genre. These kids want to get back from school, jump on the Roblox, and play with each other in just some fun random user-generated content. And that's going to be hard to dissuade these children from wanting to partake in their game and partake in MMOs. Hey, but thank you for watching this somewhat depressing, but in my opinion, thoughtful video about the future of the MMORPG genre and how badly we need a resurgence to bring it back to the forefront. Thank you all for watching. Ebonhard out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you hated the video, understandable, but dislike and subscribe and become a dedicated hater. Thank you all. Ebonhard out. Peace.